Welcome in, Slumpbusters, for the third time in 5 years after their fifth straight trip to the American League Championship Series. The Houston Astros will be advancing to the World Series to face to be determined. We might know that answer as soon as you're watching this video, but until then, this is our instant reaction to the Astros making that trip. Now, this isn't really much of a surprise to my co-host here, Kyle Ledbetter, as you had the Astros winning in 7. I had them winning in 6, by the way, just throwing that out there. But either way, you had them as your favorite in the American League coming into our postseason predictions. But what is your thoughts on the Astros? What was your big takeaway from this series with the Red Sox?
That the Astros are anarchists who are going to make every baseball fan crazy because they're going to win the World Series. We're not going to know what to do with ourselves after that. But in baseball terms, the takeaway from the Houston Astros is just that they are really, really good on offense, which we kind of knew going in. And the reason I said that the Astros were my favorites going into the whole series or going into the whole playoffs to make the World Series and potentially win it, because my NL opponent was the Giants. And of course, the Giants got bounced about a week ago from the playoffs. But even still, the reason I felt good about the Astros and why I feel good about the Astros no matter who they're going to play in the World Series is that their biggest weakness was the starting pitching staff. And the whole way through, I felt like the starting pitching staff isn't as bad as everyone thinks it is. And through 3 games, we were starting to see where the problems were with the Astros pitching staff, whether it was Lance McCullers being out for the entire ALCS with an injury, or the Boston Red Sox scoring 20 runs unanswered in the playoffs in games 2 and 3 against the Houston Astros. But even still, come around to game 5, you have Framber Valdez and Garcia for the Houston Astros allowing 1 total run in 18 innings, along with the bullpen giving up 0 runs, but 1 total run allowed in games 5 and game 6. And the Astros offense is always going to score runs because we've talked about how amazing that lineup has been. Yordan Alvarez went 4 for 4 in game 6. Kyle Tucker had a little 3-run homer that, fun fact, by the way, Kyle Tucker's home run in the 8th inning of the game would only have been a home run at Minute Maid Park. The only stadium in baseball that ball would have been a home run was the stadium that Kyle Tucker happened to be playing at. And that doesn't even account for Correa, who had the amazing series where he had to go to the watch in game 1. Jose Altuve, Michael Brantley had a fantastic series. Bregman scored the first run, and then Bregman, of course, is an all-star third baseman who we just mentioned like 7th down the line on batters in the Astros lineup. And so it was an awesome job for Houston. We know the bats are good, and pitching staff came through when they needed them most. And I never wavered in my pick of the Houston Astros, even when they were down 2-1, even when gambling people were telling me this one's just about over. Stuck to the guns, and the Astros rewarded me. So that's what I've seen from this series. I didn't think it would go the way we went to get there, but it ended up being the result that we had in mind.
Well, I'll take it a step further, and you saying that their pitching really stepped up. So not only did they average just the 1 run over the 18 innings, but 3 runs over the last 3 games. So 1 run apiece, 2 runs in game 4, and then the 1 run in game 5, obviously. I think the Red Sox were the ultimate case study, and save some for tomorrow. Like, save some runs for tomorrow, because they spent all their run production in the first few games. They were going grand slam, grand slam, grand slam, and they didn't have enough slam for the last couple performances. Now, this is a credit to the Red Sox. They shouldn't have been in this spot when you really think about where they were versus the Rays, where they were versus the Yankees. The Red Sox were a great story in the American League altogether, and it really would have been something had they made it to the World Series. But kudos to them on a successful season nonetheless. I think you and I both kind of approached this from similar respects. We gave credit to the Rays as defending American League champions, but I think we were both on the Astros as well. You mentioned it. The lineup is just so deep. The rotation is good enough, but it was obvious not having Lance McCullers to start the series. I don't know what his injury status is. I don't know if he was marked completely out for the World Series as well, but that is still something to monitor as you go into a World Series where you're either facing the Dodgers' top-heavy lineup or a very run-prolific offense in the Braves as well. So I will be curious to see how the Houston pitching staff lines up in the early part of the World Series, similar to how they lined up in the American League Championship Series when we get to that point. But all right, guys, well, that's just our quick reaction to the Houston Astros advancing World Series. You know, we'll be back here with a NLCS reaction as well. And then ultimately a prediction between the teams that are lining up. Until then, leave a like on this video if you are a Houston Astros fan. Show your support, show you some love from the team. And if you are a Red Sox fan who's a little bit down and out, just let us know in the comments below why the Astros are cheating. Okay, guys, subscribe to this channel. Check out our partners, cavemancoffeeco.com. Don't be a chump, use promo code SLUMP, and we will see you next time. All righty.